I am bringing you guys a little bit of a conspiracy theory today. Let me read you something. Google defines infantilization as to treat someone as a child or in a way which denies their maturity in age or experience. As you all know, I have made several videos where we talk about Robyn's questionable parenting style and how the way in which Robyn has decided to parent her children has really done them all a disservice over the years. All of her kids have grown up in an extremely oppressive, manipulative, and coercive environment. But something that I've started to realize more and more is that I think Robyn actually might be infantilizing her kids, especially Saul and Ari, and especially Ari, so that her kids will never be seen as growing up. Therefore, they will always remain in favor with Kody. And Kody will always love them, want to spend time with them, and pay attention to them. That's what I want to talk about in today's video. Hey everybody, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. This is actually my second time recording this video because big rookie mistake on my part. I did not clear my memory card. It got full and just decided that it had its limit and stopped recording in the middle of when I was filming this video yesterday. So I really appreciate your guys' patience while I re-record this video. So like I said in the intro, when we talk about Robyn's parenting, at least on this channel, I talk about some toxic behaviors that I see Robyn perpetrating that really are hampering her kids' ability to become fully thriving adults. I don't really care if Robyn's kids have a lot of screen time or eat purely organic. This isn't like a Facebook mom group attack, but discouraging them from becoming independent adults, describing them as prisoners, as Kody has done, discouraging them from going to school in person when that is an option, and not providing education for your almost 7-year-old daughter. These are all really toxic behaviors that I really feel like can have lasting detrimental effects on these kids. And it might seem a little unfair. In fact, it is unfair. I fully recognize that this is unfair to make this just an indictment about Robyn's parenting. But as we know, as Kody has stated himself, he at best considers himself a babysitter or part-time caregiver to his own kids. He is not involved whatsoever in child rearing. That has always fallen to the mothers, and I guess when it comes to Robyn, it has fallen to her and her nanny. It's a problem that Kody is not active in child rearing and that he does not consider child rearing to be part of his job. But today we're going to talk about Robyn's specific toxic parenting choices that have really stunted the emotional development of her kids. So we all know Kody has stated several times throughout season 16 and 17 that despite not actively participating in child rearing for any of his kids, he feels that his duty is towards his younger kids. Kody is a baby's man. His kids have actually commented about that for years. It's well known that brand new babies always get the most attention and love and affection from Kody. It's also well known that if you are a child in the Brown family, at some point you will age out of favor with him. Will, of course, age out of favor much faster if you develop an attitude as a teen or, formulate your own opinion. Here's the thing. Kody has several minor children. What Kody does not have are any babies or toddlers in his homes anymore. Ariella is his youngest child and she will be turning 7 in January. So here is where my conspiracy theory comes into play. I've actually been thinking about this for a couple weeks, so I wanted to bounce this off you guys and hear what you have to say. Part of me wonders if one of the reasons why we don't see the filming inside Robyn's house anymore, her kids aren't really participating in filming, even though they're home all the time. Because the last time they filmed, our memories of Saul and Ari is, especially of Ari, was a toddler. And the way Kody and Robyn talk about Ari and Saul, you would think that they were still toddlers if you didn't know their ages. A part of me wonders if this is intentional on Robyn's part to keep her youngest kids still perceived to be infantile to viewers, but especially to Kody. Robyn might feel like this is a move she has to make because she sees that Kody is starting to draw this really hard line with his kids. He is openly hostile with some of his barely adult children like Gabriel and Garrison, but even kids who he's not openly hostile with, he has still determined that they might not need him, a la the way he has talked about Isabel in the last couple of episodes.
Isabel, go do your thing. Figure it out.
He's okay not seeing Isabel because he views Isabel as being independent. She has friends, she has a social life, and she doesn't need him. This makes it okay for him to say things like it's super inconvenient for him to go over and visit with her if it's snowing. Like, she has friends. She wants to go to school in person. She's good. She doesn't need dad. Not that she absolutely doesn't yearn for her father to be an active participant in her life. Friends are one thing, they take up a certain amount of emotional space in your life, but a dad is completely different. And there's been a couple moments throughout season 16 and 17 that I feel like Robyn might be intentionally infantilizing her youngest kids, especially Ari, so that it will appear to everyone, and especially Kody, that Ari is still a baby. Let's talk about Ari still using a pacifier at almost 5 years old. This happened in season 16. This was Thanksgiving time 2020. This is the scene where Robyn tells her kids that the rest of the family just doesn't love them enough to want to spend the holiday with them, which, you know, is, I've already talked about that toxicity in another video. Ari is seen throughout this clip. At first, she is sitting with her sisters. Then she kind of goes off camera for a little bit. Then at the end, she reappears with a pacifier in her mouth. And social media just went on fire with this because a lot of users were saying, I was seeing it talked about on Reddit, like, how old is Ari? Why does she still have a pacifier in her mouth? So I had to do some math. I hate when I have to do math, but because there is such a big gap between when things are filmed and when we are seeing them, I wanted to know how old was Ari when this was filmed. Well, Ari was born in January of 2016, so it would have made her 4 3/4, almost 5, a couple months shy of turning 5 when this scene was shot. If you have ever been a parent of a toddler or a young kid, you know that there are times where you just pick your battles. For example, my daughter is 3. She is in this phase right now where she really loves to just put on band-aids for no reason. I think she thinks they're like stickers, and honestly, it's just a battle that I have chosen not to have with her. If she wants to play with band-aids, play with band-aids. So when I saw that Ari was still using a pacifier, honestly, for me, I'm not going to sit in judgment of another parent. I know especially the pacifier habit can be extremely difficult to break. If anyone's going to have that conversation with Robyn, it should be her pediatric dentist if they have concerns that it's going to affect Ari's mouth, her palate, the way it forms, and future dental issues. I, an internet stranger, I don't really care about that. But what I'm curious about, and the reason why I bring this up in this video, is I think that when you think of a pacifier, you obviously, it's pretty synonymous with being a baby. A child with a pacifier in its mouth is automatically going to appear much younger than they actually are, even infantile. And I just wonder if that is intentional on Robyn's part. What I noticed in this scene is Ari sat through this entire conversation without a pacifier. And I know that when kids usually are still utilizing a pacifier when they get older, it's usually because it's like a soothing mechanism. It's a crutch, if you will. But Ari seemed fine without it. So I'm just curious if this maybe was an intentional move on Robyn's part. I don't know. Does she encourage Ari to still use a pacifier in order to make Ari appear younger? Conspiracy theory. And then what really sparked my spiral down this rabbit hole of this conspiracy theory that's been percolating in my mind is this revelation.
So Ariella is not in school yet, and Solomon is doing really good because he's online. So all of Robyn's kids will probably just stay online.
Why is Ari not in school or not participating in any kind of schoolwork? Let's go back and do some math again. At this point, it's April 2021 because that's when Avalon was born. Ari is 5. Why is she not even in kindergarten? Now, I do know it's the pandemic time, but I know of kindergartners who were participating in school online. And Kody said Ari is not in school yet, leading me to believe that they have not even started any kind of curriculum with Ari. I know that preschool and kindergarten is not compulsory education in most states. But when a child is required to enroll in school at 6 years old in first grade, they are expected to have reached a certain level of academic achievement, whether that be through programs like preschool and kindergarten or at home provided by the parents. My daughter is in preschool and she's learning things like shapes, colors, counting, textures, and they do it all in a super fun way. Let me just sidebar for a second and tell you how much I appreciate teachers, especially teachers of young kids. Y'all are angels on earth and y'all deserve to be paid way more. But you know Robyn isn't doing any at-home curriculum with Ari. They said that that's one of the reasons why they brought in the nanny is to help their kids with schoolwork, which I think was kind of a cop-out because we know that Robyn has had a nanny since Solomon was born. So this was even pre-pandemic, they've had a nanny. There is also a huge socialization component to school that I find really valuable. Kids hanging out with other kids their own age. Saul is 10 and he is the closest sibling to Ari's age in her household, but he's not really her peer. Now let's circle back to the nanny. Saul and Ari are almost 7 and 11 now in real life. Does a 7 and an 11-year-old still need full-time childcare? I could see maybe having like an after-school tutor or a babysitter if Kody and Robyn have to be out of the house, but Robyn and Kody apparently work from home. And the working from home has been debated because people really don't know what Robyn does. She's never mentioned it. Last time we heard of any kind of business ventures from Robyn, it was My Sister Wife's Closet. I guess if we're going to be fair to Robyn though, she says that she's busy during the day. So I guess that doesn't necessarily have to mean busy working. But an almost 7 and an 11-year-old know how to not be disruptive if you have to do a Zoom meeting. And they know how to not put their lives in danger for short periods of time. So they could be in another room, like a playroom, or off doing their own thing without direct supervision. I think still insisting that your kids need a full-time nanny could be a ploy by Robyn to still keep them as youthful toddler babies.
Hey everyone, editing Sarah here. For some reason, my recording cut off right as I was about to do my closing. I probably will need to get a new memory card or something. I'm going to take a look at that this weekend. But anyways, let me know your thoughts down in the comments about this video. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Reality Squad, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.